Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Yo-sha and I'm your go-to girl for all things real. If this is your first time on this channel, I basically do real talk, lifestyle, and reviews. I give bomb advice, and your girl is a fan of life after lockup and love after lockup. So today, I'm going to be talking about tonight's episode of Life After Lockup, which was season 3, episode 26. And I'm also gonna talk a little about 24 and 25 because I did not film a video for those episodes. If you watch this show regularly and you are on track, then there will be some spoilers. Just a disclaimer. This is gonna be highlights of what I thought was interesting throughout the episode tonight. So feel free to comment down below, share this video with anybody that likes the show, and I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. So this episode opened up with Brittany and Marcelino searching for Brittany's mom. In the last episode, Brittany had went to counseling with her mom to discuss the addiction issues, and it had gotten pretty emotional and pretty intense. And basically, her mom was not responding to Brittany's calls, and she was concerned. So she told her husband, hey, I'm gonna go and look for my mom. And Marcelino, being a great husband and partner that he is, went with her because the area is very toxic, drugs, prostitutes, the police out there. He wanted to make sure his wife was safe. So I believe his mom was watching the kids while they went to go look. And basically, Brittany is out there tirelessly looking for her mom. And Marcelino is really only there for Brittany. He's not really understanding why Brittany is so adamant about finding her. But we find later in the episode that Brittany wants to find her mom because she's been there and she doesn't want her mom to end up dead. She doesn't want her mom to end up, being abused or taken advantage of because of where she is. Personally, I feel like Brittany is still taking blame for her mom's actions, even though her mom has not really been there for her. She really lost her youth dealing with the things that she went through, and she's overcome despite of. She's married now. She has kids. She already had kids, but she's actually started her life over with her kids with her husband. And I am just hoping that she doesn't fall off track. I said that in the last episode that I did of me talking about life after lockup, but I just really hope that she doesn't let this set her back on her progress. And the episode ends with her finding her mom basically admitting that she was out looking for pain pills again, and Brittany offering her home despite of Marcelino saying, hey, I don't really want our house to become the rehab center. Brittany has offered their home nonetheless. And so Brittany's mom gets in the car and we'll see what happens. My concern is that she may steal from them. The mom may run away. The mom is going to keep going back unless they get outside help. Brittany is not a professional. Just because she overcame addiction and alcoholism, it does not mean that she can help her mom do it. I think it's going to take an outside force. And more importantly, it's going to take Brittany's mom wanting to do it. So that's that. Moving right along to Destiny and Shawn. We don't really see a lot of them in this episode, but what we do see is very telling of Destiny and her ways and why she is the way she is. We meet her mom and we get to actually learn her mom a little bit better for the first time. We did get to see her early on in, I believe, Love After Lockup when Destiny got out of jail, and we got to see her sister and her mom, and it was really quick, and it wasn't really telling of who her mom was as much as it looked like, the mom was just kind of curious about Shawn because Shawn was being untruthful about some things. Here we find that Destiny's mom had a rough time parenting when it came to her kids, and especially when it came to Destiny. Destiny experienced trauma, and she experienced rape from her own relative, from her own uncle, and I'm assuming from her mom's brother. And so hearing her talk about that made me feel a little less hate towards her. You know, I still don't care for her because we can't go through life, go through our adulthood blaming everybody else for our past, even when our past suck. You know, that includes being abused. The best thing to do is to get help and to take care of self after trauma and get therapy. You know, I think that Destiny really does not need to focus on a relationship with Shawn. Although, spoiler alert, we did see a preview of the upcoming season of Life After Lockup, and it seems like they still went forward and got married. It was not in this episode. We still haven't made it to court with her yet, but I saw the preview, so I'm just telling y'all. If y'all watched it, you saw the preview as well. But Destiny's going to continue to hurt people until she gets through her hurt. And until then, she's going to continue to use people like Shawn and like anybody that's in her way, because it's kind of like a way of her getting her control back after being abused. And I don't think she wants to be this horrible person deep down, but she has to face the things that she's going through to get over that. Meanwhile, Shawn is preparing to go to California and find her and yada, yada, yada. I'm over Shawn. I still can't believe that Kelly cashed out him $1,000. For what? Like, I would have had no parts in trying to help this man get over to California. I know she said she wants to see him fall on his face, but girl, you can see that for free on TV without giving him $1,000. Like, ma'am, he does not deserve you to help him. And that just goes to show how loyal she is despite of him being crappy. But moving on. Now I'm going to talk about Lindsey and Shawn. Lindsey has lost her mind. Lindsey, I feel like her day of going through Scott's things has literally stretched over 3 episodes. And I'm sick of it. It's boring. I'm tired of their story because Lindsey is so entitled. She's so, like, top tier in her own mind, even though she brings absolutely nothing to the table as it pertains to their relationship. And I personally just feel like Shawn is as cool as a cucumber. He is as mellow as Jello. It rhymes, y'all. Don't judge me. But I just don't feel like... I don't know if he cares, or it's kind of like he's been there, he's done that, he's older. He is not going to give her the reaction that she expects. And I think that if he did, she would mellow it down some. But honestly, the prostitute thing, he probably has other things going on. She got home from jail and has been complaining since day one about how he picked her up, how the house looked, you know, why he hasn't done this, why she doesn't have that. Like, she's not as big as a bully as she tries to portray herself to be. And it really just looks like a little ass girl throwing a temper tantrum. And it's like, it's amusing. Like, I don't take her seriously. I see a 15-year-old girl when I look at her. A 15-year-old girl that's like having an attitude with her dad. Like, that's the way I look at it. And it kind of feels like Scott looks at it that way too. I will say that her mom did come over, and I believe it was episode 25, and kind of talk to her and, you know, console her. And she kind of took her daughter's side. But at the same time, it's like, your daughter has her own baggage too. And I'm not excusing him using escort services. He admits on the confessional that he did use escort services. But it's like, you don't know each other for real. And we've seen that, like, clearly on this show and Love After Lockup. You don't really know the person just because y'all talking through the wall. So you can't get mad because he was doing other things. Like, he's an older man. It might be hard for him to find women. He clearly has a bad Botox thing going on right here in the lip section. So he's looking for beautiful young women, and I can see that he's serious about settling down, but with the right person. Now, the thing that amused me was when they were arguing outside towards the end of the episode, and Scott was just so funny with his comebacks. And Lindsey couldn't do nothing but flip tables and get an attitude and say she gonna do this and that. And it's just like, for me, honey, you would not, sis, you would not be telling me how you are finna come and do anything in my house. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb, okay? You are not coming to my house and trashing my stuff and you still staying here tonight. I would have called 911, period. I don't play. I just don't feel like, you know, it's worth taking serious. He legit laughed in her face, and so did I, because I was just like, ma'am, you're not controlling him in any way, and I hope you know that. And then he said, I wouldn't leave all my resources here for you to find them. And I've been saying that, like, from the beginning. Like, she's accusing him of being broke and this and that. The man is clearly not broke. He went and got a limo for you and did all this stuff. He went and bought a house. I don't think he's broke. I think he's doing just fine. But I don't think he would leave everything in your reach because he doesn't know you yet. Anyway, moving on to Andrea and Lamar. Andrea and Lamar, I'm almost sick of them. And it's not even Lamar's fault. It's all Andrea. I've been saying this last couple of times I've talked about their situation. But Andrea was extremely dramatic during this episode. As always, she is packing up her things and she's getting the girls and she tells them and Tennyson, hey, we're about to go get a hotel. And what I loved is that her kids really were honest with her. Aside from Priscilla is really young, so she's still not going to necessarily understand fully. But when it comes to Nala and Tennyson, they're both, damn near grown. So they have an understanding of logic. And I really feel like they're rooted in their faith, even when their mom doesn't show the best example. So Tennyson is like, I am not going with you to no hotel. I'm about to stay here with Lamar, because I really feel that he understands why Lamar did what he did. And he sees that his mom is overreacted. Simultaneously, Nala does go with Andrea and Priscilla, but she tells her mom, I don't think you handled it the best. And for me, I appreciated that, because I think that Andrea needs to hear it. I think that people need to keep telling her, you overreacted. And for you to keep talking about how the woman of God you are, you're about to lose your marriage. And it's not because of Lamar. It's going to be because of you. And in hindsight, I'm hoping that she can look back on this and kind of understand how she looks and how dumb it is that is even drama over something as simple as him wanting to have a relationship with his family. This has literally been a theme since day one. Literally since day one. Maybe not the first episode of Love After Lockup, but literally the first season. This has been a theme. Whether it's Dulo, whether it's his daughter, whether it's anybody from his side of the family, she is so confrontational and uncomfortable, and it really creates an environment to where Lamar can't be his real self with his own wife. And when you feel like you can't be yourself with your husband or wife, it kind of stifles the intimacy in your relationship. And it's not always good to stay married just for your kids. It is definitely fixable. I think some therapy would help. Maybe some therapy with Andrea by herself would help. I would love for her to do that, because I really like her as a person, but it just, I'm tired of this back and forth about the Shantae thing. Like, yes, he should have told you, but he didn't tell you because of how you act. And that's the real root of the problem. You can't keep acting like it's a problem for him to want his other family. He chose you, he's married you, he's taken your kids that are not his biological kids, and he loves them dearly, and it's so evident that he loves you. But he shouldn't have to sacrifice his family for yours. Michael and Sarah. So last episode, which was 25, Michael opens up to Sarah about what happened with Maria. And honestly, I felt like he was using that as a way to kind of get back in with Sarah and make her feel comfortable, and it worked. She shows up to the hotel room with the girls, and Sarah is like, I think it would be a good idea if you came and stayed with me and the girls, for the kids. Y'all, when I saw that, that was probably the most entertaining thing from the episode last week. When I saw that she said that, I felt like Malcolm should leave her alone, because she's still trying to play house with Michael. I feel like Malcolm doesn't need to keep entertaining Sarah, because Sarah does not know what she wants fully. Like, half of her wants Malcolm, maybe 30% of her wants Malcolm, and then the other half really wants to rekindle stuff with Michael. Hence her trying to continue counseling. Hence her trying to force him to be in New York. Hence her trying to force him to come to the house. And hence her allowing him to pop up whenever, no boundaries. Oh, that's still my husband. Like, yeah, it's still your husband, but y'all are in an open relationship in which you can't move on and have your fun of being in the polygamous relationship, but he is. I felt like the episode really showed that Sarah wants to control Michael, and she's never going to be able to do that. She's going to keep getting herself upset, and she's going to keep getting herself disappointed because Michael only wants to co-parent. Michael wants to be there for the girls. And when they were arguing and going back and forth, she started bringing up how she was there for him and she was cheating on and he lied to her. And we know this. And he was wrong for that. And I'm not saying that he wasn't. But you're still bringing it up. He's basically stating to you, when you're mad at me, you don't let me talk to my girls. When you're mad at me, you won't let me see my girls. When you're mad at me, you don't want to co-parent with me. It's only when I'm good with you on a level of us in our relationship that you let me be there. And she doesn't want to hear that, but it's the truth. And what I noticed specifically was she got mad when he didn't really seem excited about her offering for him to come stay there. He didn't ask to come stay there. He got a whole hotel room. Why does he need to come stay with you? Your boyfriend just left for the weekend. Why is your husband that you're supposed to be getting a divorce from, why are you telling him to come spend the night for the kids? And your boyfriend is not there. That's the last time y'all did that, y'all had sex. That's the type of stuff you on. And then earlier in the season, while Malcolm was at home with your kids, and she went to go talk to him before the court date, he thinking you want some sex stuff. Why? Because that's what you've always been on. Boyfriend or not, like, it ain't serious because you're not putting your foot down. You're not making it clear in your actions. And so for you to get mad, blow up, you going off about how, good of a parent you are and everything. Michael did go out there and say, oh, well, I did all I could. I was a great parent. Now, that was a big lie. That was a big-ass TV flex lie. And I was just looking at him like, ain't no way you trying to be there consistently and you went 3 or 4 months without calling to check on them kids or sending no money. You ain't did the best you could. But that's cute. That's cute for WeTV. That's a nice WeTV line that you threw in there in the argument. But they're arguing. She's heated. She's mad. She done left her oldest daughter in the lobby of the hotel because she out there screaming with the younger baby on her hip, Rain. And then she goes back and she gets Aviana and then comes back out. And then she, calms down magically when he says, you know what? We gonna calm down and I'm gonna come back through tonight. All of a sudden the argument ended. Well, I gotta go. I'm just gonna leave. I'm fine. And I'm just like, ma'am, this, if you don't see it, I see it. Maybe because it's not my situation, but I see it. He is still playing with your heartstrings because you still want that relationship. And because he knows that, he does those little things like, okay, well, I'm just going to come by. I'm just going to pop up on you. He married you because you're going to keep the kids from him. He is still entertaining you, sleeping with you because you will keep the kids away if he doesn't kiss your butt and make you feel good. And that's pretty much what we saw. So, honey, I don't know how that's going to go, but apparently Malcolm is still in the picture because we saw the preview. But I don't even feel like Malcolm should waste his time trying to compete with Michael at this point. She had to be over him. Ain't no man that's going to come in her life going to be able to really, really be of influence in her life until she moves on. And she's not there yet. Lacey, girl, I almost forgot about Lacey and Shane. So, previous episode, John is out of jail. John finds out that Lacey is pregnant and she is married. She's with her husband again. He wants answers. So, he makes it clear that he's finna try to freaks mess stuff up. He doesn't care about them being married. He does not care that she's pregnant. He texts Lacey. Lacey sees the message. And she doesn't respond to the message, but she is impacted by it. Now, all of a sudden, she's conflicted again. She doesn't know what she wants to do, even though she's pregnant. And she paid money to get pregnant, y'all. Her and Shane didn't conceive this baby. She went to the doctor and got in vitro, or whatever the hell it's called, for this baby. But she's confused. Sis, I needed you to know that you were confused before you spent money getting pregnant with your husband. You can't just be over John when he's locked up and he's not around. Like, if you don't know what you want, which realistically, Shane is beautiful. They're a great couple. They make money on Cameo. They cute. You know, they be on OnlyFans. We all know this. But truthfully, you were with John for several years. You were still engaged to John when he was locked up. We know you still care about him. Even though you're manipulative and selfish, your heart is definitely still with him. And that's obvious. And now you've gotten to know Shane. Y'all are married. Y'all are having this baby together. You still got feelings for Shane too. But you're not being real with either person. And you're not being fair. And personally, I wouldn't want nothing to do with you after you got me locked up the second time. After I came home on some stuff where we had a strip club together and you called the police on me. Because I'm entertaining the stripper. What am I supposed to do at the strip club? I'm supposed to just look at you all night? We could have did that at home for free. Honestly, this is going to be a big mess. It's going to be a show. Not the good kind. Like, we're going to have the popcorn ready. Because when John shows up, because I know he's going to show up, it's going to be a mess. And Lacey tells her dad, and we all know her dad can't hold water. In episode 25, when her dad found out, he was annoyed and pissed off. I already knew he was going to find his way to Shane and tell him. Because he basically did that last time. Like, if you really don't want Shane to know, why would you tell your dad? So, speeding along to this current episode, she's talking with her friend. Her friend asked about John, which, I don't know. I feel like they be baiting. They be knowing some stuff and they be baiting the conversation to make it fit the script. But let's pretend like that's not what happened. The friend is basically telling the conversation or whatever. And then, meanwhile, Shane is doing golf with his father-in-law. And father-in-law tells him, he says, oh, well, I think he might be out. So Shane put 2 and 2 together. And you know Shane is kind of slow, so I was proud of him for putting 2 and 2 together. He said, well, do you think he's out or do you know he's out? And his dad just told the truth. And so now Shane is like, well, why didn't Lacey tell me? So now that's going to be a whole nother story. Meanwhile, you got John circling around the block like Big Worm on Friday looking, you know, about to pull up on where Lacey is. Because Lacey is now a public figure. You know, y'all have been on TV. Lacey probably putting, oh, currently at lunch here. That's kind of where that ended. Trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Because there's been times where I, like, skip people. And I'm like, oops. But that's kind of where we are. Quaylon and Chevelle, they were not in this episode. But they left us with a lovely cliffhanger as they did the preview of what's coming. It appears that Chevelle forgave Quaylon, and he did something, and she told him to cut them cameras off, boo-boo. So whatever happened is something serious. Whatever is gonna happen is something serious. Along with Destiny and Shawn getting married, because it was in a preview, and Christiana is gonna be back, and apparently John did the nasty with her sister. Ew, like it looked like some trailer trash. Not they look like trailer trash, but the clip looked like some trailer trash stuff. Like, her sister has no morals, period. Gonna sleep with her sister husband. But, you know, we'll see what happened. I'm gonna try to be nice, because that wasn't nice. But I really like Christiana, and I don't feel like her sister should have did her dirty like that. Also, there was a little clip of Life Goes On, I believe, or was it between the episodes, behind the episodes? I don't know, but y'all, they brought back Tyrice and Chanda, which was on season 3 of Love After Lockup. And they basically discussed why they didn't work out. And we kind of got to hear from Tyrice, and we kind of got to hear from Chanda. And the funniest part of that for me was when they were showing the suit that he showed up in, which was this really bright blue suit. And Chanda was just, you know, saying how she just didn't like the suit. And they were asking him, well, how often do you wear the suit? And he was like, oh, well, I don't really wear the suit. You know, I have like 25 different color suits. And, you know, I have different colors. I got cream and beige and da-da-da. And WeTV started popping the colors. It was like green and gray and beige. And I was dying laughing, y'all. Like, they didn't have to do him like that. That was so petty. But I always find those between the episodes really funny. And apparently it's supposed to be some extra tea because she admits that she met somebody. She wanted to talk to him again, but she met somebody and she got into a new relationship. So that's why she pretty much ghosted him. Honestly, I felt like Chanda was not feeling Tyrice. It was obvious. Like, at first, she was like kissing with him and flirting with him, but the blue suit she didn't like. And he was really touchy-feely, undressing her with his eyes. Like, he couldn't wait to get her clothes off. And I think, like, that was probably too much, along with the bright suit. Like, if he would have just showed up in some regular clothes, regular neutral colors, she probably would have called him back. I don't know. And then she said that Tyrice was supposed to take her, and instead he put her on the bus. So I don't know if that has something to do with it or not, but I don't know. Sis wasn't really feeling him for real. She had like 9 people she was talking to, and she admitted that openly. And she really liked his company and his support. And that was really what caused her to talk to him. So that's going to wrap up my commentary about the last few episodes. Please let me know what you think. Who is your favorite couple from the show? If you have anything you want to add, let me know if you watch Mama June, because I saw that Mama June's show is returning in March. And they're going to be talking about her road to recovery. So I'm super excited. And I wanted to know if I should react to that and do commentary as well. I also tweet when that show is premiering because I watch it too. And I'll see y'all in my next video.